going on, everybody? I just got done watching Psycho 2 for the first time. It's directed by first-time American film director Richard Franklin, written by the man Tom Holland, who wrote Child's Play and Fright Night, my favorite vampire movie of all time. He wrote this, and this is a 22-year-later sequel. Usually when we get sequels to all these horror franchises, they're always within like 2-4 years, but this one is 22 freaking years later. Holy crap. But the daughter of Hitchcock, this came out 2 years after Alfred Hitchcock's death in 1980, and the daughter of Alfred Hitchcock gave her blessing for this film, so don't worry, he wouldn't be upset. In fact, she said that Alfred Hitchcock probably would have loved this movie. I like to think he would, although I don't think he was a sequel type of guy. I don't know. Would he have liked this movie? I think he would have. It's a pretty good movie. That's why Anthony Perkins came back. They were going to get Christopher Walken to be in this movie. Could you imagine Christopher Walken? Now, there is a sequel to the novel that the first movie was based on, where Norman Bates dies in like the first act, and it's like a satire of horror movies, I guess. But Universal wanted nothing to do with that, so they hired Tom Holland to write this movie, and so glad they did, because I almost like this just as much as the first one. Maybe even better sometimes. I like it. Now, this movie stars, once again, Anthony Perkins, Meg Tilly, Vera Miles, if that's how you say her name, and not John Gavin. He could not reprise his role because he was the ambassador. Now, this movie tells the story about Norman Bates. It's 22 years later. He's being released. He's going back to the house and the hotel to run it again. And killings start happening one by one. And you don't know if he's insane again or something else is going on. This movie is a very fun mystery to solve, and let's dive into it in this week's Horror Franchise Wednesday.
Psycho 2.
Starting off with the things that I really do like is Anthony Perkins coming back. It's got that continuity. And just like most movies in the 80s and the late 70s, like Rocky, Friday the 13th, it starts where the last one kind of left off, except in this case, they have like a recap of just that shower scene for some reason, and then it cuts to present day. I thought that was an odd choice, but I like it. It's like, let's show the audience what happened in the previous movie, but just the main thing that happened that was awesome that everyone took away from it. They also do show you a little bit more TNA in that little re-edited version of the 1960 film, so no complaints here. No complaints at all. And I love the set continuity. We got the house. The house was never destroyed. The motel had to be reconstructed, but it looks just like the motel in the previous film. In the house, of course, it's the same. Because like I said, it wasn't taken down. It was just sitting on a lot. It was right there. They went to it, and it's awesome. Great continuity. Continuity, guys, so A+ for that. I love that we get to see Norman trying to start over. Like, this is Norman's movie. The last one was like half Marian's, half Norman's. This one's all Norman and a little bit of other people, but mainly just Norman. But we get to just see him go home, and he has like this PTSD. He's trying to start a new life. He's very sympathetic. Like, he's like Chucky in the new remake. He's sympathetic throughout, because he's not to blame, really. He's been fucked up by the cards that he was dealt, so you can't blame him too much if he's killing people again, because, you know, he's had a rough life. But I love that he's just trying. You know, he's just trying. They give him a job at the diner, and he's just trying to be a normal person. But something is happening at the house. He's seeing his mom, and slowly he's becoming crazy again. Or is someone else killing people? Who knows? That's the mystery. I love that this movie isn't the sequel that you would expect. Like, I went into this thinking, like, alright, so the first one had the big twist. It's Norman. So this is going to be Norman, right? It's going to be Norman killing people. It's going to establish that very quick. We're going to see him actually killing people. But it's not like that at all. The first person that dies, like 40 minutes into the movie, you don't see the killer. It's just like POV shit. So they're hiding the face again. So it's like, oh, is it Norman or is it someone else? Now it's a mystery. There's a twist again, and I love that. I thought it was gonna be like a straight up like just Norman killing people and just no mystery at all. But now there's a mystery. Is it Norman? Is he losing it? Or is there someone else at the house? Is there someone else doing shit? What's going on? I also enjoyed the couple of kills we get in this movie. It does up the gore, especially when you compare it to the first film. Now, gore, asterisk, in 1982, gore. It does kind of date itself, the couple that we do get, but it's some decent, gnarly kills. One of them kind of distasteful, but I like it. And of course, we get the great cinematography by Dean Cundey. We get some Dutch angles, and we get some like bird's eye view shots all the time in this movie. But when I saw that name Dean Cundey pop up, I was like, holy shit! They got Tom Holland, they got Anthony Perkins back, and they got Dean Cundey. There's the trio of awesome that could make this film fantastic, and it worked. We got a great performance once again by Anthony Perkins. We got Tom Holland and Dean Cundey. And then, when it just couldn't get better, we got Jerry Goldsmith doing the score. The guy behind all kinds of classics like Gremlins and Aliens, all kinds of films, all kinds of iconic scores from Jerry Goldsmith. Rambo, he did a few of the Rambo movies, and now he's doing this one. I love that this movie really just keeps you guessing. Like, you don't know what the fuck's happening. Like, the whole time you're like, alright, it's Norman. Okay, it couldn't be. Maybe it's Norman. Okay, maybe it's this person. It keeps you guessing, like, okay, what the fuck is actually happening? And there's more than just one twist. And I love that. I love a movie that can just, like, pull the rug out from under you, and then right when you get back up on your feet, like, all right, I understand what's going on, and then they pull it out from under you again, you fall on your ass, like, holy shit, didn't see that one coming either. And the best shot of this movie, I have to give it to that scene where Norman is just standing right outside his house in the awesome background, just the way it looks. It's awesome. Now, the few little things I do not care for in this movie, the big one being Meg Tilly, the actress, the new final girl, the new Marion. I didn't like her performance that much at all. I felt like she was just delivering her lines the same way throughout most of the film. It was just the same line delivery. She does cry here and there, but overall, I felt like if she was a much better actress, it could have elevated my experience a lot more. Now, I don't know if her bad acting has something to do with her being a bad actor, or if it was because she was playing someone who was supposed to be acting. So she was like, I'm going to act like someone who doesn't know how to act. I think it was a very missed opportunity to have Jamie Lee Curtis play that role. Think about it. That would have made so much sense. She was the same age as this woman, right around that age. It would have made perfect sense to have Jamie Lee Curtis. She looks just like Janet Leigh because she's her fucking daughter. It would have made so much sense just to have her be Meg Tilly's character, Mary. Yeah, Mary. And apparently Meg Tilly, maybe this has something to do with her bad acting. Not bad, it's not like Leprechaun 2 bad, but it's poor. Compared to like Anthony Perkins and everyone else around her, it's poor. Apparently she didn't like anyone on set. Like, she didn't like Anthony Perkins. She hated the director. She went on to say, like, it was the worst experience of my career. Whatever. You got to be in Psycho 2. Soak it in. Love it. Be honored, bitch. And my little nitpick is, why the hell does Norman still have rights to a hotel when he's been locked up for 22 years? If I was locked up for 22 years, I wouldn't be released and be like, all right, here's your car back, here's your keys, here's your everything, everything's yours still. I don't think that's how that works. I'm pretty sure they would just sell your hotel, auction it off, including your house, or demolish it to someone else. Because it's not like they knew in advance, like, yeah, he'll be out eventually. That's not what the deal was. Now, the hottest chick in this movie is, I hate to say it, but it's Meg Tilly. Despite me not liking her performance in this film, she's still beautiful, and she's the one we get to see naked. And the best scene in this movie is in that third act when Norman's on the phone and he's talking to his mama. Now let's dive into the spoiler discussion, everyone's favorite part. Or maybe not. I don't give a shit. What do I know? I'm just a millennial. I had a troll comment recently say I was just a millennial dickhead, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But whatever. Alright, we already said this. We got the recap scene. So the movie starts out in court. Makes sense. Norman's being released, and we get the return of Vera Miles reprising her role as Miss Loomis now. She got married to Sam, but now Sam's dead. That's an easy write-off. Like, well, we can't get John Gavin back. He's the ambassador to Mexico. Well, he's dead. But I like that they got married, so we know that now. Alright, so Norman goes free. He gets a job at the diner. He's trying to start that new life. Awesome stuff. And then the girl's name is Mary Samuels. Alright, so we meet Meg Tilly, and we know her name's Mary Samuels. And right off the bat, I was like, wait a second. That was that fake name that Marianne put on that registry in the hotel. So I didn't click it. It wasn't like registering at the moment. I was like, well, maybe that's because she's fake. She's not who she says she is. I was just like, oh, that's a callback. Because trust me, this movie has all kinds of callbacks. Like, this is like Halloween 2018. It's just filled to the brim. It's overflowing with callbacks. Like, take a shot every time you see like a callback of some kind of homage. You're gonna die. alcohol poisoning. Not a bad thing, but it's a little too much. But yeah, we got Mary Samuels. That's a little homage, and then she needs a house. She needs somewhere to stay because she's having this fake phone call. Like I said, this is a spoiler discussion. She's having this fake phone call. She's like, "Oh, my boyfriend, he kicked me out, so I gotta stay with you, and I don't know your backstory. Whatever, get the fuck out of here." No one knows who Norman Bates is. It's like it was the 1960s. He killed God knows how many people, 7, dressed as a woman. At that time, that would be the story of the century, not only in the country, everywhere. And if you're in Arizona or California, they should all know about Norman Bates. They should know his face, and the fact that she's pretending like she doesn't know who he is. Get the fuck out of here. I like that when he goes to grab like the room 1 key, he like hesitates, just like he did in the first one. But he's like, "Oh, that's that room I committed murder in. I'll go grab room 6 instead." And then we meet that dickhead cop from Die Hard 2. Danny Franz or whatever his name is. He's the same character here. He's a dickhead, he's loud, obnoxious, and you just want him to die. And then we get the sandwich lunch retread. Once again, he's having a sandwich lunch with a woman, except now he's having PTSD. He doesn't want to like acknowledge that there's a knife in the house. He's like, "I don't have a knife." And she's like, "Well, what about this one?" And he sees it and he's like freaking out. And then they go into Norman Bates' room, or his mother's room, and you see Hitchcock's shadow to the right from his like TV show when his shadow used to go across the screen or some shit like that. One thing I'll admit right now, the Hitchcock show theme song is the worst fucking theme song in the world. I despise it. For one reason only. I have to hear it at my work every fucking day. So, I hate it. Fuck off. I hate it. I was just like, this whole movie, up until the reveal, I was like, okay, this woman must be desperate for a room if she knows his backstory. But at least she was like doing smart things, like she was putting like she was putting the chair under the doorknob so he couldn't like break in and kill her while she was sleeping. So I was like, alright, she's taking some precautions at least. So, but then later on, it's like revealed that she's there on a mission to like make him go crazy again. So I was like, oh, that's why she's there, not because she's desperate or stupid. So that was gonna be a negative if that wasn't revealed. I was like, really? She's that stupid? Get the fuck out of here. But it made sense why she was there. And then the pricks at the diner, and everyone at the diner is a prick. The chef, the fucking waitress, every line out of their mouth is, "Come on! What do I pay you for? Do something!" It's like, do they say anything else? Nope, it's just always like, "Come on!" Then we see the note from the mother, and he like throws it down. Does he throw it in the fry later? Because they can't find it later on, and I rewatched it. Nobody was there to retrieve that note. And the movie makes you think at first, like, oh, it was all in his head, which is what I was thinking. Movie fooled me. I thought Norman was just going insane this whole movie. But he throws the note down, and then he has that little confrontation, and he goes back in. Note's missing. No one was there to take it, so how the fuck did it disappear unless he threw it in the fryer later? And if he did that, why did he not realize that he did that? So, just want to point that out. And yeah, chick must be desperate, because then she's like lodging with the psycho again. Which makes me think this. Why is Miss Loomis comfortable with putting her daughter on such a risky ass mission? Alright, Miss Loomis has this whole goal of setting this person who she thinks is a psychopath on a killing spree again. She wants him to go nuts again with her daughter in the house. Who do you think he's going to kill first when he goes nuts? Your daughter. So what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's just crazy. Then we get the shower retread, and it's even shot the same way, like how the woman gets in the tub and all the camera angles from the shower head. It's the same exact shots. So major retread right there. And then the peephole retread. There's a peephole in the wall, and then later on we find out it was Miss Spool, the real killer, Miss Spool. So apparently she drilled a hole because she's an old pervert. I was like, because the movie makes you think like, oh, it's Norman. But then he's like playing piano. So it's like, oh my gosh, someone else is in the house. This is like the moment in the movie where you're on 2 different trains. You're on the Norman's very quick at running down the stairs quietly train, and he's a pervert. Or someone else is in the house, and there's a different killer. So I was on, he's very quick and quiet. I like that Norman can play piano. He's playing Moonlight Sonata. I know how to play that song. Haven't played it in a while because my piano sucks. And then the prick dies. He shows up because Norman fired him from the hotel and he's honking the horn a bunch, being like not obnoxious. And he gets his face sliced wide open. Now this scene doesn't build any tension. The way it's very quick, and the music builds up quickly too. So it's like you know it's coming. It's like music's getting louder, and then like he has like this fake like prosthetic face. Like he's got like the makeup effects on his face before he gets sliced. So it's like you see the difference. Like I said, it doesn't age that well, but it's a lame death too. Like you slice his cheek open, and then the rest is off camera. Lame. It's 1983. We should have major gore or practical effects in this bitch. What the hell's wrong with you? And then we get these teenagers that sneak into the basement, and I like how it was at least alluded to earlier. It's not like it's just randomly in here. They mentioned the fact that since Norman's been locked up, teenagers use his house to bang and do drugs. So they don't know he's back yet. So these teenagers go in the basement, they start hearing noises, and then the killer comes in and stabs the guy in the back a bunch of times, and then we get another retread shot of like fingers on a glass door, like sliding, kind of like Marian's on the shower glass door or on the wall or something like that. Kind of like a small, not too noticeable retread, kind of like a little homage right there. But that's another death that's not all that inventive. He just gets stabbed a bunch in the back. And then that woman goes to the cops and reports a large, tall woman killed my boyfriend. And then at the end of the movie, when you get that twist reveal, you're like, wait, that small, 5'2", frail old lady did it? That brittle bones, bird bones lady did it? Get the fuck out of here. How is she overpowering anybody? That's a negative, but I didn't want to say it before because I wasn't spoiling the film. How the hell is this old woman overpowering this young teen guy? This other guy, Mr. Toomey, I don't care if he was drunk or not, he did nothing to protect himself. So he was all talk, no action. But yeah, she ain't large, so that description is false, lady. False police report. Arrest her. But I like how after they go to the cops, after that teen's killed, and they go to check the basement where they think the body might be, and they don't see anything, they go in for 1 second, and this cop just kind of goes on his knees, and he goes, looks clean to me. It's like, you just fucking got there. Take another look. Jesus. And then Mary covers for Norman, and again, when I was watching this movie the first time, I didn't know. This is when we're not supposed to know that she's like the daughter of Miss Loomis. So at that moment, I'm like, okay, she's the killer, or what the fuck is wrong with her? Why is she covering for him? And then it's like immediately revealed right after that she's like doing like this big old facade, like pretending like she's Mary Samuels, but she's Mary Loomis. So yeah, then it made sense. I was like, why the hell is she covering for him? She's covering for him because she thinks that he's innocent. He's like, we locked him in the attic when we were doing all that mind trickery shit. So there's no way he killed him. So this is the moment in the film where it's like, okay, it's not Norman killing people, it's someone else. Or Norman is doing some crazy magic. But even though she covers for him, I still have to ask the question, and Miss Loomis asked the question, why not just let him get arrested? Because he's innocent. That's their whole goal, is to get him back in chains. And then this moment just presents itself, and she's like, no. It's like, why? But yeah, then we find out that they've been calling Norman, pretending like they're his mother, and they've been dressing up like his mother and fucking with him. They redid the whole bedroom and then locked him in the attic, and they undid the bedroom to make him lose his mind. So yeah, I love that. I love that this movie's like trickery. You know, it's like, it's not what it looks like. Major twist. And then the toilet overflows. In the first movie, it was like taboo to have toilets in movies, and it was like famous for having a toilet not only in Psycho, but hearing it flush and seeing like the paper go in the water. In this movie, they up it to we get to see blood come out of the toilet. So they're upping it. Reminds me of Outlast. Just want to point that out. It's a great horror video game. But yeah, definitely we get confirmation of the third person in the house when Mary hears someone in the next room, but Norman is downstairs. Miss Spool is spying on Mary in the shower. What a perv. And she looks downstairs and Norman's down there, so confirmation right there, someone else is in the house. But even at this moment in the movie, I was like, is Miss Loomis the mother? Is she the killer? What the fuck? Like, I know, is she that desperate to get this guy in chains again that she's killing people? Because that seems far-fetched to me. So I'm glad they didn't go that route, because that just seemed far-fetched. And why would she be spying on her own daughter naked? That makes no sense. So, yeah, I didn't know who the killer was going to be. So they surprised me. Good job for you. Or maybe I'm just stupid. Then we get the swamp callback. They go back to the swamp and they get that same shot, like the car coming out with the chain. And they find Mr. Toomey's body. And we get a little Tom Holland cameo. He's a police officer in this movie. He has like one line or something. Like, is it me or is everyone crazy here? Something like that. And then Lila goes to the house to once again do her trickery. She goes to dress up like the mother, and we find out where she's been stashing the clothes. But before she can fuck with Norman again, the killer comes in and stabs her right in the goddamn throat. Pretty gnarly. It seems a little distasteful, seeing as how her character, iconic character from the first movie, she gets treated like that. That should have been Mr. Toomey's death, because he wouldn't shut the fuck up. She should have just gotten killed off camera. Give her some respect. But she got the death that Rachel from Halloween 5 was supposed to get. Thought that was interesting. Nobody, no matter who calls now, this is when, the morning when Norman Bates wakes up and he's got that same black sweater. Continuity with the clothes too. It's amazing. I love it. So that morning when he wakes up, and he's got that black sweater, that turtleneck sweater, and the doctor comes there to like tell him about everything. That's when he snapped. In my mind, that's when it's officially too late. The damage is done. He now knows about the mom, the real mom, the one that he never met. But yeah, because now whoever calls, he always hears voices now. He's always hearing his mom's voice, even when it's clearly the doctor on the other line. And then we get the Friday the 13th Part 2 moment where Meg Tilly, she dresses up like the mom. She's like, Norman, put down the phone. Kind of like, Jason, I'm talking to you. And then she goes upstairs, and the doctor, I was thinking maybe the doctor was the killer at this point. But he, like, attacks her. She's like, I gotcha, son of a bitch. And she, like, stabs him, and then he falls off the railing, and, like, he lands on the knife, so it pushes it in him even more. Gnarly ass shit. And then the cops come, and they kill Mary. Mary finds her mom's body, and that's when she's like, alright, son of a bitch, you killed my mom. It's over. I'm fucking murdering you, Norman. And just when she goes to stab him, the cops come in very quickly. Like, you hear them knocking upstairs, and they just knew to go to the basement somehow. They go to the basement, and they shoot her. Now, there's an extended scene that confirms that she never died. She's just hurt. So therefore, I believe she lived. I do not count her as a death. Although, why wouldn't she just give the full report? So it would make more sense if she did die. Because, like I said, she could, like, tell the whole story. And then we get the exposition scene. It's like a retread, that 5-minute thing at the end of Psycho 1 that I was not a fan of. In this one, it's short and sweet. It's a minute long, except it's all false. We got the cop, he's telling his side of the story, like, yep, it was Mary who did it the whole time, and her crazy mother. It's like, no, you got it all wrong, buddy. But yeah, Norman, he goes back home, and then we get the reveal that it was his real mom all along. Norma Bates was not his mom. In the first movie, that corpse, that was his aunt. And Miss Spool, the chick who hired him at the diner, so then you go back and like, oh, that's why she hired him and urged him to work there, not because she's a Christian. I thought that was a funny line too. And she's like, I think it's a Christian thing to forgive and forget. Don't you think? It's like, this ain't Saints Row. You don't just drive through forgive and forget. Alright, it's not how life works. You don't forgive and forget someone who did what Norman Bates did. I don't give a fuck if you're a Christian. If someone walks in and their application says, yeah, I murdered 7 people dressed like a woman, hire me because you're a Christian and you have to forgive me. Get the fuck out of my store. But yeah, that all made sense when she was revealed. It's like, oh, makes perfect sense. Except, like I said earlier, she ain't no large woman like that woman reported. So that's bullshit, and how she's overpowering anybody makes no sense. But yep, it's revealed that Miss Spool is the one that killed everybody. She killed everyone. She was committed before Norman was 1 year old, and then she came back after Norman was arrested, or before, no, yeah, after he was arrested and sent to a sanitarium. Why did she never come to visit him? I got some questions, yeah. So, she never reached out sooner. Why not? She never sent letters. How did Mary or Lila retrieve the note at the diner without getting caught? I want to know that, alright? Because no one was there to get it. Mr. Toomey and the teen guy couldn't stand up to the old lady bullshit. So, and then Miss Spool drills a hole in the wall to spy. Is she a pervert? Or was that hole already there? How does she know about it? I want to know. Why did she kill that random teen in the basement? She says, I'm protecting you, Norman. You're all I got in this world. You know, that's why I killed that Mr. Toomey. That's why I killed Lila. They were fucking with you. Yeah, but why did you kill that teen? He wasn't fucking with anybody and wasn't bothering anybody. So why did you kill that teenager? That's just up in the body count. And, biggest question, how the hell did Miss Spool and Lila never bump heads before in this entire movie? They're both sneaking around practically the entire time. And how they ever had time to do so? They only got jobs? I know Miss Spool has a job. How much is she calling off? Because she's supposed to be at the diner this whole fucking movie. But she's not, I guess. So how do they never bump into each other doing a little Scooby-Doo trickery fucking bullshit going through all the halls and shit? How do they not see each other? Bullshit. And not to mention, you got Meg Tilly walking around, you got Norma Bates walking around. They never saw Miss Spool. She's walking around in high heels, I suppose. How did they not hear her? And then Miss Spool, I guess, clogged the toilet. Why should she do that? She got rid of the bodies, easy peasy, in the swamp. But she's like, I'm not going to take these bloody clothes to the swamp. I'm going to stick them in the toilet. Why would you do that? That is not sanitary, and it makes no sense. You're going to... What the hell? And then, yeah. So, Norman somehow found out about the real mom. I don't know how. I guess it was the morning that the doctor came to visit him. But this is the worst family reunion ever, because he just whacks her over the head with a shovel. Not only that, but he poisons her, so it's like a double tap. He, like, poisons her, and just when she's, like, about to, like, die from it, he just, BAM! Hits her over the head with a shovel, and then we get that retread shot of, like, him walking up the stairs with the mom, and we hear the voice, like, he's talking like the mom again. He's officially snapped. He's back to normal, back to square one, and that's how the movie ends. He's crazy, he's just like he was at the end of the first movie, and now we get to go to the sequel, where hopefully this will pick up. I hope it doesn't ignore continuity like a Leprechaun movie. I haven't seen it yet, but yes, that is the end of Psycho 2. Norman's crazy again. So just a very quick recap, final thoughts. This is a great movie with a great mystery, couple of twists, great performances by Anthony Perkins and Robert Loggia. That's R for Robert Loggia. That makes me think of that Family Guy skit every time I see him or I hear his name. But anyways, yeah, look it up. Great performances and just great score, great cinematography, and just a couple of neat little kills. And the only, like I said, major downfall for it is just one or two bad performances. But other than that, this is a great mystery a horror movie. So when it comes to Psycho 2, this is a sequel that is definitely worth watching. So go out and buy it. The Mr. Head Award for Best Kill will go to Lila, who gets a knife shoved right down her throat. Eat it, bitch. Eat it. And the Mr. Twig Award for Worst Kill will go to the teenager in the basement, because I feel like this was an unnecessary thrown-in kill just to up the body count. And it's just a pillow being stabbed a bunch of times, it looks like. And those are my thoughts on Psycho 2. Have you seen this movie yet? I hope you have, because if you're still watching this, I just spoiled the whole goddamn thing for you. What the fuck are you doing? You're ruining the experience for yourself. But if you have seen it, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Do you prefer over the original, like Quentin Tarantino? Let me know. And if for some reason you're new to the channel, I do movie reviews for new movies and horror movies, horror franchises, some trailer reactions sometimes, and ranking videos. And I'm trying to do some monthly game videos where I just do something different, freshen things up. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you like what you see here, you can hit this like button and show your support, and you can become a subscriber today if you wish to do so just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, I'll be seeing everybody.